Welcome to Rom Wills Money Matters. Look for different avenues to expand your business. Now, this is very important, particularly for the business owners out there. I don't care where you are, you want to expand your business. Like, I'll use myself for an example. I'm expanded way beyond just YouTube. Yeah, I'm making some money off these YouTube videos, but even there I expanded because I started with one channel. And then I eventually expanded to 4 channels. Now I cut back from one channel, my woman's channel. And honestly, I cut back from that because I had more men commenting on there. In fact, I recently had a male say, hey, when you bringing this channel back? The channel wasn't really for the men anyway. But even then, I could still expand, I could still open that back up. And there's even other subjects. Like if I actually wanted to talk about politics, which I have expertise in, I could expand there, expand the sports, whatever. And that's just on YouTube. But then I have Patreon channels, I have Venmo channels, I have different ways of making money. And that's just doing social media. That's just doing social media, right? Now, whatever you're doing, yeah, you could do the same thing if you're on social media, but let's start on a basic thing. Let's say that you're on, you have a brick and mortar store, right? You have a brick and mortar store. I would highly recommend that you have, you start you have a web page or something, even if it's just advertising what you're doing. Now, there are some people that have a brick and mortar store, but they do deliveries. And this could be food deliveries. Now, that's obvious. A lot of people doing food deliveries. They expand that way. And that's actually a smart thing. If you have like a restaurant or something and you do deliveries in your area, or you hook up with one of these apps or something that do deliveries, you have plenty of them. That's an expansion right there. So you have a retail, you have a brick and mortar, you also have a web page. And indeed with the web page, you can use that to maybe do orders across the planet. Well, it takes money doing them across the planet, but you can go further with it. You could say, hey, if you want to order something from here or something like that, that's an expansion. You could expand, depending on what you're doing, maybe you could set up like pop-up shops, something like that. Whatever the case, look for different avenues. That's very important, because one of the things, if you have just one avenue for your business, it could work for you, but you could also get in trouble with it. And I would point out, like during the pandemic when they were shutting down a lot of businesses, they weren't ready for it. They went out of business. Now, some of those businesses that also had web pages or they did deliveries or something, they didn't worry as much. They just shifted to something else. But I've seen some businesses, they didn't have web pages, anything like that, both food and retail clothing or something like that. And they went out of business. I can think of one now. I used to go there and eat. It was a buffet. They got in trouble. Now, they were trying to stay in business just by having people come and cook for them and all of that. They had takeout. And that's an expansion. But it didn't really work for this one business I would go to. This one takeout this buffet I would go to. They had takeout, but then that didn't work for them as well. They ended up going out of business. You want to expand in as many different areas as possible. It's possible for your business. Let me use the retail, the brick and mortar retail. Okay, say you selling clothes or shirts. It would be smart to either hook up with maybe a major platform. I ain't gonna mention the name because they don't pay me, but you got some major platforms you can hook up through them, or even have your own major thing where people can order something and you just mail it out yourself. There's a lot of people who do that. In fact, I've seen some people, they have trouble keeping the retail side of it up, the brick and mortar side up through rent, whatever. And they would just go strictly to online. But even then, they should still expand it. Like I'm acquainted with someone who does a lot of advertising on her Instagram. But she also has a warehouse where she's sending out stuff. And there's a lot of people. And speaking of Instagram, a platform like that is very big on advertising. Even if you're not making money from that, they still advertising their wares. Quite a few businesses are advertising on there. They'll say, hey, you know, ad, check it out. They have shops on there and everything. And then even then, let's say you have just a retail, you know, just a web page or something like that. A way you can expand that is doing pop-up shops and vending events. And I hadn't talked about vending in a long time, but I've known some people who do that. In fact, I know a young lady now. She does a lot of pop-up shops, a lot of vending, but she also advertises on her IG page. She also has a shop, and she's doing all of this. Whatever you do, you want to think about as many ways as possible to sell whatever you have. Now, that's talking about products and food and everything. Even services. You know, and the big thing there is advertising as many places as possible. Social media is big. Are you advertising your services on social media? You know, that's one thing you could do. Are you going to different vending events? Because you can get a lot. Say you go to a vending event, say massage. You do some massages at a vending event. That's advertising right there. Because even if someone doesn't get a quick massage right there, like a back massage or something, they know that you have something bigger. So you might say you do a massage or something, and you massage maybe 20 backs. All right, but then you gave your card out to 50 more people. And out of that 50 people, you know, you might get 20 who come in for a full massage. You know, that's another avenue. Always think in terms of how can you get your business out there, regardless of what it is. How can you advertise it? What can you do? Where can you go? You know, and especially with social media now, you can really do a lot. You can really do a lot with social media now. Like everybody who has a business should have some type of social media. Every single person. Because it's not even just talking about different things or flashing something, but, well, I say flashing something, but letting people know about your business. Because that's one of the things. The key to any business is customers. The key to, I don't care what business it is customers. You have to let people know that you're there. And, you know, you might be able, depending on what your business is, you might be able to sell through these different avenues. Like I mentioned that young lady who has a brick and mortar, but she also does vending events. She also has online. And she's also done an expo. You want to think in those terms. All right? So anyway, look for different avenues to expand your business. So I want you to think about that, all right? So anyway, y'all know the deal. Let's go make that money.